Should you work with an iBuyer here in Tucson? Many people today are considering this option when they're trying to sell their Tucson home fast. Let's talk a little bit more about what they do and what you can expect from the process in today's post. Hi, my name's Carl Krenzel with Carl Buys Houses, the broker in charge here, and iBuyers are becoming an increasingly popular alternative to listing your home with a Tucson real estate agent. You know, the convenience factor is very appealing to homeowners, especially those who want a fast way to sell their property in Tucson. While a fast sale can be beneficial, there are a number of things you need to be aware of before selling your home to an iBuyer here in Tucson. Let's talk about these 5 things you should know before working with an iBuyer here in Tucson. First, there's less personalization. You know, when you're working with an iBuyer, they aren't trying to get to know you or your situation. You're just a number, and if you decline to take their offer, well, then they'll just simply move on to the next person. The process is very impersonal and based solely on how much they'll be able to profit on selling your house. The process is very impersonal, and they won't likely help you achieve the price you're trying to get. Now, when you work with Carl Buys Houses, you know, I want you to understand that I want to learn about you and your selling goals so I can help you achieve them however we can. You know, we'll learn about your situation. I'll take the time to sit down and understand you and your property and provide you with the information you need to make so you can make the best decision that is for you and your family. The second thing you need to know is that there's going to be less room to negotiate with an iBuyer. You know, when you're talking with an iBuyer, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, if you decline an offer from them, the iBuyer is just simply going to move on to the next potential seller. Most iBuyers are not going to negotiate with you, even if you have the data to back up your claims. When you're working with a Tucson real estate agent or a professional home buyer, you're typically able to work with somebody who's open to discussion about what your home is really worth. You're able to go back and forth and negotiate a deal that works for everybody. The third thing you need to know is that you're going to get lower offers. Now, the convenience of working with an iBuyer comes at a cost. You're going to be selling your house quick, but at a great discount in order to ensure that that iBuyer is profitable on the deal. You know, for some people, that convenience may seem to make sense. You know, and according to some studies, homeowners will receive about 11% less on average when selling their home to an iBuyer. I think I read that on MSNBC, if I'm not mistaken. And if that doesn't factor in really the considerations of the commissions and the fees that many of these iBuyers charge. Now, when you're working here with me at Carl Buys Houses, you know, you'll still be able to sell your property quickly, and you're still going to be able to get a great offer and avoid all the usual costs of selling a home here in Tucson. Next, obviously, is expensive commissions. Now, when you're working with a Tucson real estate agent, that's going to cost you about 6%. Now, remember, commissions are 100% negotiable. Make sure you remember this, okay? When you're trying to sell your house fast, working with an iBuyer could cost you another 11.5% in fees. Now, not all iBuyers charge this much. Many of the larger ones do. And if a homeowner needs to sell their house fast here in Tucson, working with a local and professional home buyer like myself might actually be a better option. You know, here at Carl Buys Houses, I always pay fair prices, and there's never any commissions or closing costs because I never charge them to you. And obviously, hidden fees. This is the biggest thing you're going to want to watch out for. In addition to the service agreed to up front, many iBuyers will tack on even more fees. Okay, and thus they take even more and more from your sale. Now, be careful when you're working with an iBuyer, as there's often hidden fees and costs that you need to consider. Some are going to charge things called administrative costs or make you pay half the closing costs, right? And this isn't the case for me. You know, I take care of all the costs. I pay all your closing costs. You don't have to do anything, ensuring that you never have to spend any money on the property ever again. I take care of all the repairs, the cleaning, all the closing costs. When you work with me, what I offer is what you get. You know, when it comes down to it, working with an iBuyer can be very convenient, but it does come at a tremendous cost and a lot of risks. You'll likely lose out on thousands of dollars when you're trying to sell your property and that you might have otherwise been able to make if you'd been working with a Tucson real estate agent or a professional home buyer like myself. You know, I would love to help you determine what's the best way to sell your property. Get in touch with me today via text or call me directly on my cell phone at 520-403-6227 or through the contact form right there, and I'll help you run the numbers so you can, again, make the best decision for you and your family. You know, when you work with me, there's never any hassle. There's never any pressure to sell your Tucson home to me. Learn about all your selling options before you sign on the dotted line. Find out if you should work with an iBuyer by reaching out to me today. Call me at 520-403-6227. Thank you so much for your attention, and as always, I hope you have a powerful day. Bye-bye.